You're watching Adorama TV.
Hi everybody, welcome to Adorama TV product reviews. Well, today I want to talk to you about the Olympus Pen E-PL3. It's a $679 camera, and it is all about options, options, options. This little guy can do all kinds of things. It's a pretty beefy camera. It's got a 12.3 megapixel live MOS sensor, which means that you can get some very high definition, high quality images with lots and lots of color. It's pretty impressive. Now this thing has, as I mentioned before, lots of add-on options. In fact, there are so many different options. When you buy this camera, it comes with this little chart here that shows you all the stuff that you can get. And this doesn't even have all the stuff that you can add onto this camera. It is really a system that will grow with you as your photography skills grow. So you can get all kinds of things like different viewfinders and flashes and underwater cases and flashes and gear. So if you want to do diving, you can do that. Different batteries and battery chargers and adapters and microphones and just all kinds of stuff here. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But in addition to that, because of the way this camera is built, you can even get third-party add-ons, things that Olympus doesn't even make. You can buy from other camera manufacturers and add them to this camera. It's really awesome. Well, this camera actually comes in a kit, and so we're going to talk to you about this kit that I got. Now, this is a kit, and included in the kit is this 14 to 42 millimeter. It's a 3.5 to 5.6 zoom lens, and that means you can shoot in really low light and get some great shots. This also comes with a flash. So this camera, to make it a little bit smaller, there's no pop-up flash, but what you can do is you can take this little protective cover here off, and you can put other types of flashes on here. So you can get a macro flash, you can get a larger flash, but it comes with this little guy right here. And this flash is awesome. I'll just take this little protective covering off right here, and then this goes right onto the top of the camera, just like that. And then you can just leave it there like that if you want. When you want to use it, just pop it up and it's ready to go, and plop it down when you're done. So that's how I used it, was just to left that flash right on there. It's very low profile, and it fits into a small case. Now if you want to take this on and off, there's actually this little bag that you can put the flash in, and then this bag can be Velcroed onto the strap that also comes with this kit. So there's that option. And this also comes with things that you're going to need eventually, things like a USB cable to get your camera's pictures onto your laptop or your computer. It comes with this awesome AV cable, so if you want to show the videos that this shoots on your television, you can do that with this. It comes with a battery charger. It comes with a quick start guide right here, and this basically tells you how to dig in and get started right off the bat. But to use this in to more of the advanced features, well, you're going to need to throw this DVD or the CD-ROM actually into your computer, and then it's got a PDF file of all of the instructions. And so although I love PDF files, and this does a really good job of being able to let you search for things, one thing I didn't like was that you didn't have an option of a PDF and a normal manual that you could throw in your camera bag, because if you're out shooting and you want to know a certain function, well, you're sort of stuck unless you have a computer to look up that PDF file. So that was one thing I didn't like about that. Now this has a really small battery, and it goes right into the bottom of the camera. Fits in right there, and it plops right onto the battery charger if you want to use that. And then also this has the ability, it uses SD cards, and so we use this Kingston 32 gigabyte SD card when I did all my testing, and it was great for video and stills. It kept right up with everything, so I'll throw that right in there. Now the other thing this really has is that it has this really awesome screen on the back. And so you can move this all around, and so if you want to shoot stuff from a low angle, I can pop that out just like that, look down and see exactly what I'm doing. If I want to shoot stuff from a really high angle, I can throw it the other way and hold that up in the air and look up at that, or I can just plop it down and see that just like it is. Now if you want a traditional viewfinder where you look through, well, you can put that up here on the top instead of the flash. You can throw that on there as well as an added optional accessory. So it has that. Now this records in either 1080i or 720p when you're recording video, and you can record that in two different formats. So you can record in AVC HD, which is great if you want to edit stuff on a laptop or on the go or on your computer. It's a very common format. Or you can record this in Motion JPEG, which is a little bit higher quality. Now the difference is, if you record in AVC HD, you can record up to 29 minutes of video in full HD, or if you want to record in the higher quality Motion JPEG mode, well, you can only record 7 minutes. And so you have a big difference there in how long you can record. Most of us are going to want to record in AVC HD. It's very, very standard. Now the other thing that this camera allows you to do is you can shoot videos, and during the videos you can capture stills. Now unlike the Nikon J1 where it allows you to do the same thing, this actually stops the video. So when you're recording video and you shoot a still, the video recording stops, the camera will record that still, and then the video starts again. So you actually have a video, and then you have a still, and then you have a video. So there's going to be a gap in your video, and you have to put those together. So that is one thing that is a little bit different when you're comparing this to other cameras of similar features, specifically the Nikon J1 that is a similar camera to this. Now the other thing that this has that I really like, it's got a built-in stereo microphone when you're shooting video. And so you don't have to buy an external microphone. It's got this stereo microphone here. Now with any camera that has a built-in microphone, it's always going to pick up any noise. So if you're jolting this around or you tap this, it's going to record that. The good news though is you can get an external microphone as one of those added options. Again, options, options, options. This camera gives those to you. So you can solve that problem and you can get better audio quality if you want to. Now this camera also does one more thing that I have to mention, and that is that it shoots in a 3D mode. And so you can take a shot and it actually takes 2 pictures, and then what it does is it outputs that in a file that you can play back on a 3D television or on a 3D computer with your little glasses, and it's really cool. It pops right out. Now one of the things I really want to talk about is the lens mount. So this has interchangeable lenses, so you can put different types of lenses on this camera, and this lens mount is called a micro 4/3 lens mount. Now the nice thing about a micro 4/3 lens mount is that it's a very common size. And so here is the lens that came with it. This is an Olympus lens, and I just want to show you how flexible this is. This lens here is a Panasonic Lumix lens. It's a really high-end lens, and it's used for shooting video. And I'm going to show you that this goes right on to my Olympus, just like that. Now I was able to use this. The autofocus worked just fine. The image stabilization worked just fine. So this lens was fully functional on this camera. And so you can see that you can put a really nice high-end lens on there. Now the other thing that you can do with this is you can get lens adapters. Now the lens adapters that you can get allow you to use other Olympus OM lenses or 4/3 lenses, or you can also do something else. So we had a lens adapter. Now this is a third-party lens adapter. This is a NovaFlex lens adapter, and it's a micro 4/3 lens mount, and it allows you to use Nikon lenses. So check this out. You can put a nice Nikon lens right on this camera if I do it right. There we go. And there you have it. Now when you do that, this is now going to be in full manual focus mode, and then also you're controlling the aperture with this adapter. But I was able to shoot with this Nikon lens right into this little Olympus. I was able to use some really high-end Nikon lenses, and it worked great. Now again, I had to use manual focus, and I had to control the aperture with this little ring, but it actually worked, and it looked pretty spectacular. I got results that I would normally get with a high-end DSLR right here on my Olympus. So a lot of different options for mounting lenses. In fact, there's a whole line of lenses that are made for this camera. There's 8 lenses. They're available from 12 millimeters all the way up to 300 millimeters, and they come both in silver or black. So just depending on your preference, you can get it in 2 different flavors. And then, as I mentioned before, there are converters. Adapters and converters. Now these converters you put on the front of the lens. There's this little adapter lens thing that comes off there, and then you can stick these things on the front of the lens, and one of them is for you to shoot with a fisheye adapter, so you get this really crazy kind of wide angle look, or you can use a more traditional wide angle adapter, and a macro adapter, so you can get really close and shoot things like flowers and bugs and bees and things like that. So with those adapters, with all the lenses and the lens adapters to let you shoot with other micro 4/3 or OM or 4/3 lenses, really the options and the possibilities are almost limitless with this camera. It's got a lot of upgrade ability. Now this camera, with all of that, still has more. It comes in red and black and silver, so you can choose one that fits your personality. Now the other thing that I have to talk about is this thing right on the top. We'll just do this really, really quickly, and that is the mode dial. So I'm going to take this flash right here. So the mode dial has program, aperture priority, shutter priority, and manual mode, just like the big DSLRs do, but this has awesome, also has a video mode on there, but it has 3 modes that I really love: Scene, Art, and Eye Auto. So let me show you those one at a time so you get a better understanding of what they do. iAuto is a fully automatic mode, so if you're brand new to photography or you don't know where to start, iAuto is a place for you. Now, just because it's fully automatic doesn't mean you don't have any control at all. You can use the live guides by hitting the OK button right here. You can see that all these different little menu items pop up, so you can express motions, you can blur the background, you can change the brightness, change the color image, or change your saturation. So let's go down here and look at express motions. So if I hit OK, I get this little slider, and so I can have things that are more blurred, or I can have things that are more still. So depending on how you want to show either freeze or show motion, you can do that right here. And you just hit OK, and then the camera locks that in. Now that's a really great feature to have. The art mode is great for you to apply creative effects. Now this menu pops right up here, and so you can see that we have pop art, we have soft focus, grainy film, pinhole camera, diorama, and dramatic tone. So those are awesome different options, and based on what you choose, for example, if I choose grainy film, you can see that the background here just turned to black and white and got really grainy. If I went back in here and hit OK, I'll go up here to pop art, and you can see that now our set is really high saturation. And I shot these. I love the black and white grainy. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, there's one more mode on the dial, and that is the scene. Now this allows you to select different scenes. For example, let's say you're shooting a birthday party and there's some candles and you need to make sure the camera gets that. You can do that. You can choose nature macro, macro photography for flowers. You can have this mode. What this does is it freezes motion. So if you have lots of things moving around, it makes sure that the camera isn't shaking too much and freezes things. We have low key here, so you can have things that are very dark. You can have high key where things are very bright. You can have children. I love having a mode called children because we know kids move around a lot. This will help you freeze that action. You also have night portrait, night scene, sport, landscape plus portrait. So that's a little bit different than just landscape because now you get people and the scenic photography in the background. There is e-portrait, which makes things very soft and sort of magazine looking. And then you've got portrait on top of that. And also the 3D photo that we talked about where you can make things pop out. And then there's also macro, wide angle, and fisheye effect if you've got those adapters to put on the front of your camera. You've got beach and snow, so if you're shooting out there in the ski, 4th of July, fireworks mode. There's a panorama, which allows you to push a button and then just move the camera to shoot a big panorama. It's really cool. And this is for shooting documents, sunsets, and then we're back at candle. So a lot of different things you can do with the scene mode. All right, well that is the Olympus E-PL3. It's a camera that has unlimited possibilities because you have all of those options. Again, this camera is $679 and it's worth it for anybody that's looking to have a camera they can take with them almost anywhere, vacation or different events or sports, and then really grow that to make it the system that they want for their photography needs. Well, thank you so much for joining me this week. Remember, if you have questions about photography or photography gear, you can send those questions to me at askmark@adorama.com.
This episode is brought to you by Adorama TV. Visit the Adorama Learning Center where you'll find photography tips and techniques, links to the gear used in this episode, and related videos. For all the latest photography, video, and computer gear, visit Adorama.com. And the next time you're in New York City, visit our store located on 18th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue.